And we are live, just letting them all load in.
I see them coming in. All right, we'll get started. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy that you're able to join us this morning. Welcome to another presentation brought to you by the Boca Chamber. My name is Chastity Navarro. I am the events manager at the Chamber, and we're super excited to have our panelists here today. A little something different from the Chamber. This is our first panelist, who is moderated by our very own Sarah Pearson. But before we get started with our presentation, I'm going to have Sophia come on in and give you a little Zoom housekeeping.
Hi everyone, morning. Welcome to another Chamber experience, virtual experience. We will be recording this entire presentation, so it'll be available later this evening on our YouTube playlist. Everyone will receive a follow-up email with that link. We will also be taking questions throughout the presentation and at the end. So to do so, there's a Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you click that, you'll be able to submit your question either publicly or anonymously. And Ms. Sarah Pearson, who will be moderating the event, will be monitoring that and asking the questions. There is also an option to, actually no, that's it. I'm sorry, I'm a little off today. That's where you'll ask your questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Sophia. Well, without further ado, I'm going to have our Executive Vice President of the Boca Chamber, Sarah Pearson, kick us off.
Well, good morning and welcome everyone. I too am excited for today's panel. I do have some questions that we've already lined up, so we will get started, but I was told not to do the introductions, that our panelists, Julia and Michael, will introduce themselves. But when I was reading Julia's bio, I was so very impressed with her service to our country that I do need to recognize the fact that Julia, who is DeTolo, who is the interim president and CEO of CareerSource Palm Beach County, is a retired Navy commander who served for 22 years. In talking to her, she was an Army or a military child, and so has, what did you say? Your pillow is where the home was. Wherever your pillow was where your home was. You spent a lot of time in Europe and throughout the world, but Florida now is truly your home, having spent the most time in your entire life in Florida for 26 years. So I thought that was pretty impressive. I also did see that she not only got her bachelor's at the University of New Hampshire, but then moved all the way across the country to my hometown of California to get her master's at UCLA. So I thought that was pretty exciting. So I did want to bring that up. Julia, I had the opportunity of hearing you speak at the county commission meeting last week. You had some really amazing numbers and information that you shared at that meeting. So I'm hoping we can get to that today. And then of course, we all know our guy on the ground, Michael Corbett. He's the Assistant Vice President of Business Services for CareerSource Palm Beach County. He sits on multiple boards. He is at all of our economic development, government affairs, all of our events. He's constantly at the county's, the BDB events, representing CareerSource. He's the guy to call, the go-to guy that gets things done. So we're thrilled to have Michael as well. So I'm gonna have each of you just give maybe a 1-minute welcome from yourselves. Julia, we'll start with you, and then we'll go into the questions.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I think you did the introduction, so I'm not sure what you'd like me to say, but as the interim CEO of CareerSource Palm Beach County, we are challenged with providing a ready workforce for the county and to help businesses nurture and grow and to help our job seekers match the talents of the needs of our communities. So that is what we primarily do, and I'm so happy to be here today to be able to talk about how we can help businesses and job seekers and what the state of the industries are right now. So thank you for this opportunity, Sarah.
Thank you. Michael.
Thanks, Sarah, and thanks, Sophia and Chastity, for having us again. We love to talk and give information and updates. I've been with this workforce board going on 6 years, and I've lived in Palm Beach County most of my life, over 40 years. we have a very diverse business community. We are not dependent upon one industry. So as we begin to come out of this, I think you're going to see various industry clusters start ramping up very quickly. And that's a pivotal role that CareerSource Palm Beach County plays.
Wonderful. All right, so let's get down into the roles that CareerSource Palm Beach County plays. What programs do you offer? What services do you offer? Maybe sharing that prior to COVID-19, and then maybe what have you pivoted to during this situation?
Okay, so I'll start off. We really assist local businesses with hiring individuals. We do a lot of job fairs and recruiting and hiring events. We work with job candidates to be prepared to talk with employers, to get interviewed and hopefully get hired. We also have a lot of training grants that we offer, and we'll get a little bit deeper into that later on. We have a couple of key departments that we do offer. Veterans that focus on helping veterans, their spouses and families get back to work. Youth and young adults. We have a whole department that does career prep in West Palm Beach, in Delray Beach, and out in Belle Glade. And then we have a disability and special needs department that focuses on that population. And one of the really intriguing departments we have here is the reentry department, helping those people that are coming out of prison and jail to get prepared to get back to work. And as we have talked before, we are not the unemployment office. We have been fielding thousands of calls and emails over the last couple of weeks, but that is not what we do. We're simply trying to help the community get back up and on their feet.
Absolutely. Julia, do you have anything to add?
No, Michael said it perfectly. Thank you.
And then did you bring up the veteran program? I don't know if I missed that. I know that that's how you started into your career, Julia. But
we have a great veteran program here at CareerSource. We have two sides of the veteran program. We have disabled veteran outreach program specialists who work with disabled veterans and those that have the most barriers, let's say, to get back into the employment world. And so they work with them in a case management aspect, step by step, getting them back into civilian life and back into the workforce. And then we have a second department of veterans that does nothing but work with federal contractors and businesses trying to find those jobs for our veteran population.
Well, that's amazing. That's wonderful. Well, thank you. Okay, so what are the current industry trends that you guys are seeing right now in Palm Beach County?
Well, I'd be glad to answer that one. So, we started off with a great unemployment rate. We started with a great economy before COVID-19. So we started off on a very good platform. And we know that we have a diverse businesses within Palm Beach County, but we do focus on hospitality, retail, and restaurant. And with the social distancing guidelines and with COVID-19 hitting us, obviously those businesses were the first to be impacted. Following that, the businesses that were related to that got impacted. And as people went back into their homes and started telecommuting, retail, hospitality, restaurant, and then we started seeing office closures, medical offices closing, predominantly, for example, the elective surgery centers, dentists took a big hit, and small business owners. So the ones that were the most successful were the ones that were able to telecommute and switch to a virtual platform. So while those were the industries that were most hit, I can say that Palm Beach County stands fourth in the state as having the highest impact behind Miami-Dade, Broward, and Orange County. Our unemployment right now is sitting at about 14%. The new numbers will be out on the 22nd of this month. Do expect them to go higher. Remember, the numbers are usually a month behind the actual data. So for those people that have been able to convert to telecommuting, or for restaurants providing delivery services instead of sit down, the way they rebounded or the way they reacted to this economy will determine their success. Information technology certainly has changed. Everybody wants to set up their home offices now, so there'll be a rise in that professional arena. We're seeing job orders still coming in here at CareerSource. In the last week, we received job orders in the industries of security, personal security, increased healthcare. We've seen a shift in healthcare from the in-hospital and in-clinic situation to more of the home health. situation where they're hiring aides to go into homes to provide the healthcare. That's an interesting dynamic and shift that we're seeing here. So for the phase 1 reopening of Palm Beach County, I think you're going to see restaurants starting to come back again, not at full pace. Businesses are going to rehire their staff that they've let go, but not all of their staff either. So you're going to see a return of industry, but not at 100%, some at 80%. And the key is who succeeded in their virtual services and who teleworked the best and how they do it. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned in those industries.
Well, and I think actually it's there's a positive piece that you just brought up, which are these businesses that are actually thriving or growing quickly based on the COVID-19 crisis. So, you know, that story should certainly be, you know, covered in the media and discussed as well, because it's very doom, but there are definitely some businesses that are doing very well. Will continue to do well. So I think it's amazing that you're on, that CareerSource has been on top of it to know what those industries are, and that you're aiding in and supporting their growth, which in turn, you know, helps our entire community. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, so as an employer, which I know we have, you know, 36 people on this call, quite a few are employers. How can CareerSource assist them at this time? How can they assist an employer?
Okay, I'll take that. I spend a lot of time out in the community with businesses, through industry organizations, through the chambers and different community partners. And one of the things we started hearing early on is we need to downsize, we need to lay some people off. We have a whole REACT department that will assist that company in doing that. We'll get in touch with the employees and experience, tell them what the benefits and what the services are available to them. So don't be bashful about contacting us if that is one of the things you need to do. The other thing is, if you're looking to hire, we can come up with labor market information, occupational data, so you're offering the jobs at the right rate, if you have the right parameters in the job description. And then we have active recruiters on staff that can assist. They will actually go out and screen and source candidates for you, pass them on to you, and all of this is at no cost. All of our services are provided no cost, as we're funded primarily by the U.S. Department of Labor. And then job fairs and recruiting and hiring events. We love to do those types of things. A couple of weeks ago, we did a virtual job fair. We had 26 companies across the county. We had about 1,000 applicants that spent time going in and out and applying for jobs. I think in the future, you're going to see a lot of virtual job fairs. Even if we do them in person, I think we'll have a hybrid of the virtual component on top of that. So it's wonderful to work with the businesses, and that's what we need to do, is get these businesses back up and running very efficiently.
So you had a virtual job fair, 26 businesses, over 1,000 applicants. How does that work? Is it, that'll be another webinar that we do sometime soon. You could teach us how to run something like that.
We're still working on it.
Working on it, but it's really fun because think of yourself walking down Meisner Park and you would be looking at the different businesses. You can virtually go in, research the business, look at what they're doing, look at the open and available jobs, and then jump into a chat box with one of the hiring managers. And then if they want to talk with you, they can jump out into a Skype or a GoToMeeting or a Zoom. So it's a very easy way to try to see people face to face.
Amazing. It's like the Jetsons has officially happened. All right, so on the flip side, we talked about how you can help employers. So employees, how can CareerSource assist employees at this time?
Well, that's a good question. We have literally learned to work virtually as well. So we have developed over the years a virtual career center that we have really fine-tuned, where people can go in, look at different jobs and careers. They can make their resume. They are actually tutorials on how to interview. We actually put on our webpage also links on how to build your LinkedIn profile, how to interview. And we flipped it also to how do you attend a virtual job fair and how do you interview virtually, because a lot of interviews have flipped to virtual services as well. So we're trying to stay ahead of the times. We're trying to be innovative. But on our careersourcepbc.com webpage, we have so many services as well as the virtual career services available on that. So employees can go look there. If you're registered in our database, employflorida.com, our recruiters can see you, can see your resume and your skills, and can address, or they'll pull you up when they're searching for employees to be filling jobs within our community. So between Employ Florida, our webpage, and our virtual career services, and our counselors are all on phones answering emails and telephone calls from their homes that we can help our employees.
My goodness. So here's the big question. What do you charge for these types of services? Do you charge?
We do not. It's at no cost to either the businesses, no cost to the employee either. We're funded through the Department of Labor. And so we pass that on to our consumers.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So tell us, how do you collaborate with community partners? I know you have a lot of partnerships. How do you collaborate with these partners, and are there additional partners you're looking to partner with, additional businesses or organizations?
Okay, so both Julie and I and people on the management team are out in the community, and probably one of the people I spend the most time with is the Business Development Board, which is our economic development organization. As we're trying, and you're usually at the table, Sarah, as is Jessica from the city, when we're trying to court companies to come to Palm Beach County, we all are trying to help woo them here for whatever reason, and it's becoming more and more pervasive. Companies want to come here for multiple reasons. Companies that are looking to grow and expand, the first thing that they look to is, where am I going to find my talent? Where am I going to hire my people from? So we step into that role usually and act as the HR generalist if they need us to do that. We have a wonderful, exciting company in Boynton Beach called NYU Langone. I think you know of this company, obviously. We have been trying and helping them hire people over the last probably 8 to 9 months. They're going to ramp up to 500 employees. That's a great success story for Palm Beach County. We also work with other industry organizations, the South Florida Manufacturers Association, a big pool of candidates and employees and employers. You think of the marine industry that employs over 21,000 people, aviation, aerospace, engineering. These are all clusters and targeted sectors that we really spend a lot of time on. So I spend a lot of time doing that. Julia, why don't you talk about some of the things you do for the community?
Sure. So on top of everything that Michael said, besides the chambers and the economic developers and municipalities, we're also working with our educational partners. And we work with partners in special industries as well. So the underserved communities, the farmers out west. We have an entire career source that deals with the Western communities, and that is a busy career source that we're very proud of. We have partnerships with companies that work with the disabled and with young adults as well. So we work with a slew of different companies and organizations and community partners that deal with almost every aspect of every job seeker, whether you're young or old, coming from every walk of life, including a professional placement network, where we have C-suite individuals that are looking for new employment, a better job, a new job, and they come to us as well. And we have an entire team who handles that population. So we have something for everybody.
Awesome. There was a question that popped up. Somebody had asked if you can talk a bit more about the disability and special needs programs, and if you can be a little bit more particular as well for teenagers, if you have a program for teenagers as well.
So we do have an entire department who works with disabilities, whether hidden or not, whether you're blind or autistic, whether you're hard of hearing. We have community partners that we work with that we help put you into employment. We actually have a hospitality training program for the disabled as well. And we work closely with the hospitality industry to put people to work in those jobs. So you're welcome to come here. We also have adaptive technology within the building if needed or required. On top of that, we work with FAU CARD, autism, deaf, blind, you name it. That disability program rocks it. They literally are very successful in putting people into jobs. I'm quite proud of that program. We also have a young adult program, starts at about age 17 for enrollment. We teach career prep and provide on-the-job training and internships through that career prep program. We have it both in the east and the west of our counties. So teenagers specifically, like 13 to 17, we actually do not work with, but we have community partners that do, and we link in with them. Our primary program is for out-of-school youth, not in-school youth. We tend to deal with the youth that have disengaged from the educational realm and try to re-bring them back in to be community members and working members of our community.
Wonderful. I did not know that. So that was a good question, whoever asked that question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the next question is, do you provide training for job seekers and employers?
Sure. So I'm going to step up and talk first, if you don't mind. One of our most popular programs is called the On-the-Job Training Grant. And if a candidate is eligible and suitable, we can work with an employer to come up with a fairly simple training program to fit that company. And for up to 3 months, we may be able to pay and reimburse for 50% of their salary during that period of time. That's a wonderful grant program. We spend a lot of money on that. We put a lot of people back to work through the OJT. The other one that we do is customized training. We always have employers that want to provide customized training to their staff, and it's going to probably lead to a certificate or a credential. And the good thing about the customized training is many times that training, once they get that credential, they'll get a bump in pay. So everybody benefits from that type of training. The state of Florida, CareerSource Florida, also offers the Incumbent Worker Training Program, and that is administered by the state. We hold the employer's hand through that process, but that will come available beginning in July 1, which is the beginning of our fiscal year. Those funds are not available today, but come July 1, they will be. Anything you want to add to that, Julia?
No, that was perfect. Thank you. Yeah, maybe the only other thing I'd like to add too is that in this era that we're in right now with COVID-19 and the high unemployment rate, we do expect scholarships and grants to be increased to put people both into employment and into school. So again, for those people that are eligible, newly unemployed, or who want to go back to school, this is a perfect time for them to get short-term certifications. We do work with the colleges on that, and we should have scholarship money coming down from the state for those purposes.
I was going to actually ask that question if you expected less or more in grant funds. So that was great. Okay, so where and how can people take advantage of the services of CareerSource? Where can they go? How can they get involved?
Sure. So for right now, our webpage, careersourcepbc.com, with the virtual career center. Also, it'll guide you into the different departments and training and grants and youth, young adult, disabilities that you asked, even veterans. If you are a company looking to post jobs with CareerSource, call us. We actually have a phone tree that will direct you to the correct services that you need. So leave a message. We actually convert all our messages over to emails, and our staff will answer that in the order that they're received.
One additional thing I'll add is we're in discussions right now with the Palm Beach County Library System. There's 17 locations, and a lot of people are comfortable in going to a library and using their computers and having their staff assist them. So we're probably going to be using and leveraging their staff, because they're going to feel an onslaught of people coming into these 17 locations across the county to help expedite reemployment claims and how to job search, how to craft a resume, how to really upload a LinkedIn account, things of that nature. I know in Boca you have a private city library. I believe we'll reach out to those folks that have city libraries across the county as the next step in that process as well. So we're very excited about trying to expand and leverage that reach into those libraries.
Do you take volunteers, or do you ever need counselors, volunteers, people to just help others with resume building and things like that, or is that?
We actually don't use volunteers in-house, but what we do is work with our community partners to provide similar services. Like Michael said, we're partnering with the library system. We are so excited about that partnership and having they have the computers, they have the staff, we have the computers, we have the staff, but to have all pods of, what I call pods, of people out in the community that can help with this and be partners of ours, that is what we utilize more than volunteers.
Perfect. All right, so tell us, are there any new programs and services that you can share with us?
Well, I'm waiting for Michael, but you know what, we're really excited. We're in the same situation as everybody else. We're looking to be innovative. We're looking to redefine ourselves in this virtual world. So we are very happy that we're partnering with the library system. We are increasing our virtual services as well, and we're slowly going to reopen our offices. Right now, we're also working with our staff, bringing them back, training them in this new world with all the wearing the masks and the plexiglass between clients. So we're all in this together. We're all trying to be innovative, and we do see more of our services and short-term trainings going online. So using the virtual world is probably the wave of the future.
The other new programs that we've launched over the last few months are the pre-apprenticeship programs. We've been awarded some nice grants in collaboration with the Research Coast just north of us and CareerSource Brevard up in the Space Coast for aviation, aerospace engineering, for the marine industry, and then emerging life sciences and pharmaceutical industry. We feel as though these are great career paths for people to get into. So the pre-apprenticeship program will work on things like work readiness, soft skills, how to get to work, how to act at work, how to work on a team, how to communicate, and then the technical hard skills that follow that, followed by trying to work with companies in those industries to take these people on as an apprentice. And I think you're going to continue to see a lot more funding pushed down from the Department of Labor, the Department of Commerce. We're starting to braid money together with different grants from different U.S. departments. And then I think the Department of Education will start pushing money into this as well. So stay tuned and come to our website and look for those programs being announced.
Wonderful. And so you said soft skills. I know as a chamber executive, we hear quite a bit from our employers that soft skills are a challenge, especially maybe, you know, people that are new to working. Have you changed, let's say in the last 10 years, maybe are soft skills more focused on now than they were maybe 10 years ago? Is that a change that you've seen happen?
I think so. I think you're seeing the educational system focus more on those communication and soft skills. I think you're seeing the higher education institutions incorporating those types of modules into their training programs as well. So there's a big focus because it is a lacking skill, unfortunately, in a lot of people entering the workforce.
All right, so I have one more question. Well, I'm going to take the liberty and add a question. How many employees do you employ?
We have 120 employees.
All right. All right, and then the last question, then I know we have a few questions on the Q&A here. So the last question that has been predetermined, what do you see or anticipate on the horizon as to how the pandemic will affect the services CareerSource provides and how they will deliver these, how will you deliver these services to the community? And I know you answered that already to a point, so.
I don't think any of our services will change. I think we're going to actually get better at our services and offer them in new avenues. And one of the things that I did mention was the virtual avenue. I think we're going to fine tune a lot of our services. We'll be providing more personalized services versus big classroom settings. So I think things like that will change. But overall, no, we're going to get more creative and we're going to come up with new ideas and stay on top of the industries that we work with.
Got it. I mean, look at your virtual work fair or job fair. That's pretty futuristic. So, okay, so here's a question that came in. Where does one find the reports you file with the Department of Labor and CareerSource Florida to find out numbers of people placed in jobs?
There's a governor's placement report that is published every day through CareerSource Florida. I think if you take a little bit of time and go to careersourceflorida.com, you'll see we know exactly where 24 workforce boards are ranked each and every day and then by month. So you can see that information real time, basically.
Perfect. All right. And then another question came in. This is from somebody that had worked with an institution for over 20 years, and the position was eliminated due to the COVID-19 crisis. So how should she begin? I mean, this is a seasoned professional. What are her first steps working with you? Or what do you suggest she do?
Well, the first thing she should do is gather her resume, or at least what she would like to put on a resume, because we can actually help her with that. Have her give us a call and ask for our professional placement network. Just leave a message and we'll get it, and we'll have our career counselor in the professional placement network call her back. But really, we think about, where do you want to work? What do you want to do? What were my skills? Is there something else I'd like to go into? So we always ask you, do you want a new job, a better job, or a different job? And so do some soul searching, do some looking on Indeed and on the internet to see where you want to be and what you want to do. And we'll help you put everything together through our professional placement network. And literally just give us a call or an email.
Amazing. All right, that was it for questions. If anyone else has a question, feel free to throw it in, and then I will ask, how can we help you? How can the business community help CareerSource?
Well, I'll say this is a valuable resource as a Chamber of Commerce. Troy and your staff and everybody's very tuned in and in touch with the community. I think you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on. But I would really encourage your city to expedite a small business emergency grant program, just like Palm Beach Gardens, West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach is putting one through, Delray Beach. I would expedite that. A lot of these small businesses need assistance before the end of the month, which I think is a critical date for many of them to make a decision on whether to continue moving forward or to close down, unfortunately. And we don't want to see that happen. We have a great community. We have a great county here. We have a great support system, a lot of resources in this county to help people.
Julia?
No, I think Michael said it, exactly that.
Yeah, you're speaking to the choir. We certainly want the city to move quickly on their loan small business emergency program. Obviously, we brought that to the city. I'm very, very impressed with Boynton and the city, how quickly they moved through their CEO or CRA and the city program. And hopefully Boca will move quickly, hopefully by next week as well. So, thank you both. I can certainly say, you must go to bed at night feeling like you've made a difference, and you really have. And we really appreciate everything that you do. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
And Chastity, you want to pop back on and give us an update? I know we have a big breakfast tomorrow, our first virtual May monthly breakfast. So
we do. So actually, thank you guys for being here today and doing this for us. We so appreciate your time. You know how busy you are, and taking the time to come and speak to our chamber members. It's just, I love it. Thank you so much. And thank you, attendees, for hanging out with us this morning. We hope you took some great takeaways. We'll send you an email, and if you have any questions for Julia or Michael in the future, you can feel free to reach out to them. We have some awesome things coming up. We have tomorrow is our first virtual chamber breakfast at 8:30 in the morning with West Boca Medical Center. They are our wonderful sponsors, and they're going to be talking about some really, stuff that we need to know, what's going on with hospitals, how they're dealing with COVID-19. They also have their orthopedic surgeon who's going to talk to us about their cool robotic surgeries. So can't wait to see what that's all about. But tonight, one of the coolest things that we have coming up virtually is our Young Entrepreneurs Academy Investor Panel. This is like our version of Shark Tank style event where these kids who are like from 6th grade to 12th grade have to pitch their business to investors for money. And they're so cute. They have on their tie and their suit jacket, and the girls look all professional, and they want to show you what they have been doing all year long. Don't miss it. Check out the Chamber's calendar. come on with us. It's going to be amazing to see these kids because I was mind blown in their practice. So I hope to have you guys on later on this evening at 5 o'clock. Find the link on the Chamber's calendar. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.